I watched Thunderbolts 2 days ago, and I really hope that Kirilenko both wasn't fussed about being in this film and got paid a lot, because they really did Taskmaster dirty. This is my post-watch reactions, and I've been reading the behind-the-scenes reasoning, and as far as I can tell, it was meant to both invoke the whole anyone can die trope and emotionally impact the rest of the team, but at no point in the rest of the film did I genuinely believe that any of the other characters were going to die. There was never that sense of threat, and Taskmaster's death is barely a ripple to any of the other members, not even Belova, in a way that I actually think severely undermines the ending of Black Widow, you know, when all the other widows adopt Taskmaster. Now, don't get me wrong, Belova's justification for being different, so well, that's how I expect we all die, plus her general depression isn't actually out of character at all, but stylistically I don't think works with the emotional impact that the filmmakers are going for. Like, if none of them care, then why should we? And I know she was unpopular with a lot of Taskmaster purists. Personally, I didn't care. The MCU isn't the comics. You know, comics have different universes and different interpretations of characters. Some of them are done really dirty, you could say, in different comic variations. The film is just a different universe of these characters that can mix around. You know, that's part of comic book lore, you know. So I didn't really care that much that Taskmaster wasn't the same kind of type of character they were in the comics. Within the context of Black Widow, I genuinely did feel for her tragic situation. Honestly, out of everyone, she probably deserved the most out of a redemption. And also, the entire arc that I've seen said that, well, not seen said, that the filmmakers have said they were going to do was of her bonding with Ghost and then both having that shared experience of being children turned into weapons. Which fair is also Beloved's experience, but I guess Taskmaster has a slightly different kind of. At least Beloved grew up in somewhat of a family situation. That, and also the recurring gag of her of where she kept forgetting her memory and would keep trying to kill Walker. Generally, something I would have preferred to have seen over an early death, which ultimately is extremely forgettable. So yeah, I really hope he got paid a lot to like be a high build member of the cast. Yeah, there were some well choreographed scenes in this film. Not many. There were some good quips in this film. Not many. And I know it's frequent criticism that the MCU films have too many quips. But if it was a film that could have had a vibe and the genre and you know, could have done more, it was this one. The cast chemistry is actually probably, in my opinion, the worst of all the MCU team-up films. There was never a and then they all click moment. Not even, like, there wasn't even a and they don't click moment, but it was interesting. It was kind of just nothing. Not even like their fight scenes, which in films, fight scenes are basically dances, and dances are basically song, and songs are basically back and forth between characters. You need a chemistry, even if your characters aren't getting on. That's still a chemistry you need to have, and none of the fight scenes have that chemistry. You know, like how in previous Marvel films, people are fighting in the same scene and they kind of bounce off each other. None of that was kind of present here, in my opinion. Apart from, and they all tried to kill each other, which is the first time they were all on screen together. That kind of had some chemistry, but it was like the first time they all met, and then it kind of went downhill from there. What I did like about this film is how it hit the brief of let's fight depression, but in a very superhero film kind of way. Like, it's not the deepest portrayal of mental illness, it's not the most nuanced or grounded or you know, raw look at mental illness. It is very much, I want superheroes to fight the manifestation of depression, and it hits that, and it does it well, it does it respectively. And you know, whilst I don't think the chemistry was there as a team, it was certainly individually everyone acted very well, especially as expected Florence Pugh. They have an arc in the film which is underspoken but realistic, and so I think that's the best thing about the film. But yeah, I do think it was a respectful portrayal of depression, you know, and not just depression. I think a lot of, I've not seen it explicitly mentioned as an intent, but it does seem to be portraying some well, the Void has manic swings, so I do think that's being portrayed as well. Some in a variety. So yeah, I don't hate this arc, and I always keep saying, so I don't hate this film, and I always say that the longer franchise goes, of course, it's gonna have like duds. But of all the films that have been released post Endgame, this is when I'm surprised is getting the most. Well, this is when I'm surprised that it's getting positive reviews. I expected the reviews coming out of this to be mixed. Well, no, actually, wrong, because I went in and watched this film having already seen a bunch of memes about how, oh, more Marvel films should be made like this. And I was genuinely confused because I'm like, this is the one people are all clamoring up behind? I don't know why my voice went so high pitched there. Like, I love all these characters individually, and I like the idea of them teaming up. I like the premise. Maybe I went in with too much high expectations, and everyone else went in with low expectations. I just felt like there was so much missed potential in it. Like, it wasn't bad, but I was expecting a bit more. So yeah, this for me is like, not much better than Brave New World is, really, to be honest. But apparently people liked it for some reason. I mean, sorry, it's not a bad film. I just think in and of itself, it's a good film. I put myself in the mindset of people who sometimes rate Marvel films low because they're not as good as the highs. And I don't think this is one of the films which is as good as the highs, but it's being ranked like Eternals is much better than this film. Mrs. Marvel is much better than this film. I don't understand why this is the one that everyone's kind of clicking with. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this. I am now going to do my review of a film. Not a review. My reaction to Wicked, the new trailer. And then we've caught up on these. I have to still watch the tales of whatever the next Star Wars thing that's come out is. And then go clean my flat, I think. Almost done. Okay, give me about 5-10 minutes to set up this thing, because I'm doing a brand new thing. Oh, I've got to film this video as well. Okay, just give me some time. I'll be with you in a second.